Male power and murder. The trigger for me was the rape and the murder of Sarah Everard, and the knowledge that women in our society could not walk home without fear of being raped or murdered. It made me feel sad, it made me feel sick. So, to make sense of it, I considered my time as a young man, because these are men committing these acts. At school, I did a lot of sport. It was a boys' school, and I would be in the football team, I would play rugby, and I would play cricket, but football was my game. And when you're around boys, as a boy, for about 7 years, you do get to know them. It doesn't take 7 years, but you do get to know them, particularly in a team. So when we were boys in the changing rooms and the showers and on the pitch, we would know if there had been a transgression by either the boys or an adult nearby. So if you were playing football on pitch and an adult walked past, you could kind of sense whether they were watching the football or whether they were watching the boys. And between them, the boys in the team would communicate. They would say, watch that one. They might not be explicit, or they might do it just with looks. So there is a sort of collective intelligence when you're a young boy between boys, and you don't lose this collective intelligence or this instinctual thing. You don't lose it as you get older. When you become a man and you're playing in the professional football league, those men will know when they've made a transgression. Sometimes the referee calls it a foul, sometimes they send them off if it's more serious. But those men won't need any help knowing that there has been a transgression, and they will know how serious it is, and they will communicate that looking at each other. I'm reminded of Gary Lineker drawing everyone's attention to Paul Gascoigne's state during one of the World Cups or Championships by using his eyes and signalling to the bench. So there is a collective intelligence, even when you're a man and you're grown up. So I wondered about this. I thought, well, knowing that that's the case, it's very difficult for me in the case of Sarah Everard to believe that the men who worked in and around Cousins, the police officer, didn't know that something was up, something was funny. And it seems like they didn't call it out sufficiently to prevent this person then committing an act of kidnapping, rape and murder. So if you like, the signals between the men weren't sufficient to protect the women, which means that they're not safe. And for me, they're all kind of the same silence, because when you're a boy, you know when something's not right. It doesn't disappear when you become a man. So the men in these situations know that something's not right, that in order to protect our women and allow them to be able to walk on the street and work, then we do need to call it out. Otherwise, we're going to have male power and murder again.